Welcome back to the Madison Podcast. I am your humble host, handsome, hilarious, and humble host, Ben Lavender, New York's favorite British mortgage broker. We have another wonderful guest on, someone that I've known in the industry for quite a while, though today is the first time we're actually meeting, which is also very exciting. It's weird because I feel like I know you. So we have Dylan Bugallo from over south.
Yes. Hi, my name is Dylan Bugallo. I would also like to consider myself strikingly handsome, or should I say dashingly beautiful, maybe one of the other two.
But not humble. Yeah.
I'm very humble. I could say more, but I'll stop there.
Right. So what brings us together today, Dylan, as I mentioned earlier, is Joe Sonona's Lead to List. So let's start with that, that you are a panelist there, and a lot of people in the business know you as well, so I think they're going to have a good reason to come and to listen to you. But what do you see the value in Lead to List for other people in the business, not just agents, but loan officers, home inspectors, etc.?
Right. So honestly, well, I've known Joe for a while.
And everyone knows Joe.
Everyone knows Joe. Joe's an really great person, and I love that he puts this event together, and I'm very excited to be there and share my knowledge. I think that the best thing to get out of it, which is something that I'm such an advocate for, is that you put yourself in a position where you're in a 9-to-5 job on Wall Street or whatever you're doing. You usually have a mentor, someone to train you, someone to show you the ropes, right? And this business can get really lonely.
Yes.
And so the way that you get the mentors or the training is by having to go and do it yourself, which is a lot of what self-employment is. So going to an event like this, it's not just to network with people and have a couple of glasses of champagne and get free food. It's to actually take tidbits of knowledge. And a
little champagne.
Well, yeah, you can take the knowledge with the champagne.
Yeah.
But this event's good because you're everyone on the panel, all the keynote speakers, the sponsors, everybody there has an immense value. And they have their own way of doing the industry. They have their own way of getting clients and retaining clients and keeping a database. And if you want to learn, if you want to be, successful in the industry, you can go to these events and really learn something new. And even myself, no matter how long you've been doing it, 1 year, 30 years, there's always something to learn. So,
and I think what people also value in particular when it comes to you speaking is that you're a no bullshit, no nonsense guy, right? You give it straight, raw, which people appreciate, because the general advice that I see, I've been to a million of these events, as I'm sure you have too, is that out of, let's say there's 10 speakers, there's typically one that will actually give you something that's valuable and that you can implement. The rest is overly ambiguous, motivational nonsense.
I agree.
Yeah.
For me, it's I'm all good with the motivational stuff and the motivational speaking. It's great. But I could read books for that.
Right.
I read motivational books. I read mindset business books. The best kind of speakers, like you said, and, myself, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I am a very raw and direct person. I don't like to BS around or give any false narratives. For me, any advice I give, anything I say is coming from the heart, because that's how you essentially succeed in this business too. Clients can sense when you're just BSing. They can sense when you're just giving a generic.
Especially New Yorkers.
Exactly.
Yeah, a mile away.
Exactly. So you have to be raw and unfiltered, and you have to be relatable. And I think that it's not just learning about real estate, but it's learning about personality and molding to your surroundings.
So I want to go back to, speaking of, vulnerable and raw, go back to something that you said earlier, that this is a very lonely business.
Mm-hmm.
So for us in mortgage, it's one of the things that I actually talk about, because we have the luxury of having an office, we have a team, it's like a family. Most of us have known each other for 15 years. We come to the same place. So in real estate, you do have office culture, right? But most people aren't really in the office because that's not where the money is. So how did you, when you felt that in your career, how did you go about tackling that as a problem?
It's funny because I can't say I ever felt lonely in the office, because I was in an office for a long time where it was very office centered. You came into the office, if you had an appointment, you got your stuff, you went out and you came back and you stayed until we closed, which was 7 p.m. Right. So before the pandemic, it was actually 8, and I used to close the office every night before the pandemic, trying to get leads, just being there. So I wouldn't say that the office for me was lonely, but what is lonely, and you have to realize is that no matter how many laughs you have with people in the office, no matter who you're around, those people are not paying your bills. Those people are not going to get the clients for you because essentially they need to do the same thing for themselves. Yeah. So it's lonely in the sense that you're eating alone, really, at the end of the day. You're eating to feed yourself, not anybody else. So there's a big separation between office culture and being around people, and then loneliness, like more so on the inside. So you could be around as many people as you want, but they're never going to want to see you succeed more than they do.
Right.
That's where the loneliness.
Do you feel there's like sabotage from other people type of thing, or it's more just like people focus on themselves type of thing?
Never where I was. Everyone in the office that I was in prior, I just joined Over South. I was with Kelly Williams for a long time, and everyone there was very like family oriented, very much like it never felt like anyone was trying to sabotage each other ever at all. And Over South, I feel the same way. It's very family oriented, like-minded people. And that's the support you need in the business, because the business is very mentally challenging too. Yeah. It's, you don't you have to keep a straight face on for your family and your clients, and you have to make sure that you get your work done. But like at the end of the day, who's there for you,
So let's pivot a little bit. Yeah. Your production is strong. I did some stalking before you came in. I think you're at somewhere between 15 and 20 transactions year to date? In that range?
I think it's like 20, 21.
Okay, my apologies. Yeah. The system does lag in New York, by the way.
Yeah.
So, okay, which is very strong, right? That's very strong. Let's get into the raw of it. Yeah. Talk about your strategies. Like, just tell me, how do you do it?
So a big thing for me is just mindset. Like, that's a huge thing. And listen, I'm the first person to say, like, sometimes I wake up and I'm like, today's not the day. Right. And for me, it's important to when you're having a strong mindset, you need certain days just to rest and relax. Like when I first started in this industry, I would work 7 days a week nonstop, and I got very overwhelmed and very sad, I'd say, very quickly. So my biggest thing always is to make sure that I'm feeling okay, because I'm not going to perform unless I am. Right. So it's good to take your own days, or even 2 hours just between your appointments, to, if you want to go sit alone and have lunch, or go, get a massage or get your nails done, something that makes you happy, go and do it, because you can't lose yourself either. And another huge thing for me is, as we discussed before, being honest, raw, and just yourself. Like I'm 28 years old, and I'd say that a lot of my clientele is, a considerable amount older than me. And
how much, like, then the 50s, 60s?
I would say my average client right now is between their 45 to 55 range. Okay. Maybe even slightly older.
It also makes sense though, Dylan, because these people in that age group in New York can afford to buy homes.
Exactly.
Right? That's smart on your part.
Yes. And it's easy to connect with them, just because I feel like also New Yorkers are very blunt, honest people. Yeah. And, I'm a 90s baby, but I feel like 70s and 80s babies are even more direct and blunt than 90s babies are. And I just get along really well with honest people, because I always tell them, whether I'm selling their home, helping them buy a home, just be honest with me. If we walk into a house and you think it's a piece of shit, I want you to tell me that. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you whether I think this is a right fit for you or not.
Yeah. Why waste time?
Exactly.
Got to it.
So I think that the honesty goes a really long way, because essentially they're making, at that point, for most people, it's the biggest investment or purchase they've ever made in their life. So why do they want to work with somebody that doesn't have their best interest in mind and is just trying to collect a paycheck? There's no longevity in that, and there's no retaining people in your database, in your world, that way.
Okay, so how do you differentiate yourself? Let me be more specific. In terms of, because real estate agents, mortgage brokers too, don't have a good reputation from the public's eye, right? So most consumers, and to be fair, in some cases it's rightfully so, you have some bad actors. How do you communicate that that is not you, meaning the person that's coming to just collect a paycheck? And of course, we have to get paid, right? We cannot do it for free. We have bills to pay. We have a life to live. But how do you communicate that to your potential buyer or seller. I'm not just here to grab the money. I want to help you, like you have value to provide.
Right. So for me, I always like to take an interest in their interests. And I always like to ask open-ended questions. Asking questions and being a listener is such a huge help in this industry, because a lot of times if we put ourselves in the client's shoes, they could feel scared. They could feel, not trapped, so to say, but a lot of times, unless it's someone you've known for a while, they don't know us that well either.
Right.
So they want to feel comfortable, and the way to feel comfortable is to kind of touch some common ground. And I always like to touch common ground with my clients. If I go into their house and I'm doing, my I prepared a CMA and I'm doing my, listing appointment with them, and I see something that I can relate to, like an elephant. Elephants are my favorite animal. I'll say, oh, I love the elephant. Elephants are my favorite animal. And 9 times out of the 10, they'll have a story about why that elephant's there. And you take
How often do you come across someone that likes elephants?
Honestly, I've seen so many elephants. I've seen so many. I don't know. It feels like everyone likes elephants. I felt like I was.
You're looking for it. It's like when you're looking for a new car, it pops out at you.
I'm not just going through the home and saying, okay, this is going to sell like this. I'm going to price it this way. I'm looking for little things to relate to them on. Because at the end, more than likely, they're going to have other people coming into their house. They're going to have other realtors. They're going to have other appointments. And that's totally okay. You have to be prepared for that. But I can't tell you how many times that I have sat with somebody related to them. The listing appointment has gone on a little longer than what I had kind of accounted for.
How long is that? A couple hours?
I usually like to just make it an hour. But if you're having a really good conversation with someone, I've had some that have lasted almost 3 hours.
Yeah.
And that's not a common thing, because we all have lives to live and things to do. New Yorkers are busy. But you find that one little piece of common ground can lead to so much more.
Okay, so let's role play here. Let's say that I'm a new agent. You are my mentor. Okay, I'm going into a listing appointment. How would you advise me to try and find that common ground?
So the best way to start off is always, and I come from, like a German family. And so first thing I do, anyone's house, is, would you like me to take my shoes off? That right there is like such a level of not mannerism, respect, but just
I think
comfort,
so.
Right?
Right.
Because most of the time they answer the phone, they don't have shoes on. They have their slippers or socks, or some people are barefoot, which anyway. But it's like a common thing, especially on a rainy day. Like, I don't want to bring leaves, dirt, anything into the home. So,
it's considerate. I think it's polite.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the first way you get in and make a good impression. Secondly, is, you just say, listen, what I say to all my clients is, I kind of want to let you take me around and show me the house as if I'm a client, and I'm going to just take notes, if that's okay. I'm not going to make any comments while you do it, unless I see something, that, is of a conversation.
Right.
And so then most of the time, I've never gotten a no to that. So then they always show me around. I ask them to point little things out that they've done or made edits to or improved throughout the years. And then, so my biggest advice to you as a new agent, pay attention and ask questions.
Right.
You're going through the house. What's your favorite animal, Ben?
Snow leopard.
A snow leopard. Okay, great. I love snow leopards too. Snow leopard blankets are a popular thing, right? Or leopard print in general.
Yep.
You see something leopard print or snow leopard print, make a comment on it. Say, I love that piece. Where did you get it? Okay, that's funny, because I actually just got something for my house that's leopard themed too. Or I have boots that are leopard themed, which I do.
I believe it. Looking at those too. I got it.
And then always at the end of the tour, always say to them, is it okay if we sit down now? Where would you like us to sit so I can review my CMA?
It's a small courtesy, but to ask just says a lot. It's polite. It creates comfort.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's, at the end of the day, you are in somebody else's home. A lot of times they've been there for 30 plus years. They've raised a family there.
Yeah.
Some people find it very sentimental. So showing manner and respect is a huge thing. It's the best way to get in the door,
And it doesn't really take much skill to do it. Some people would argue that it's neuro-linguistic programming to get a yes from them, but I don't think that's what it really is. Maybe that's part of it, but it's more so to just communicate and gain respect.
Exactly.
And when you're sitting down with them and doing your CMA, what does that process typically look like for you in terms of timeline? Are you going like super into comps and stuff, or?
No, I bring the comps with me, but you never want to lose their attention. And now, obviously, speaking with them prior, I can tell if they're going to be like, I'm big on the DISC assessment.
Yep.
And, I take the DISC assessment every year. And so I know if they're an S or a C, they're going to be a little bit more numbers based, right, more data based.
Oh, you have them take it?
No, I don't have them take it.
Okay.
But I'm just a really good judge of character.
Got it.
I'm just a great judge of character. And I know from speaking with them prior, kind of like a little entryway into what type of personality they have. It's also based on how long that initial phone call is, and I take note of that. If that initial phone call is 15 minutes plus, they're an S or a C. They're looking for information. If that phone call is 5 minutes or less, they're a D or an I. They're looking to get it over with, have you come over. And the D's and the I's make quick decisions.
I was going to say, what is your split between the two types of personalities?
So a D and an I is kind of like more so what I am. I'm very like dynamic. I'm very outgoing. I like to bring people together, rile people up. I make quick decisions based on what I feel in my heart. D and I are more emotional decisions, whereas S and C is a little bit more intellect. They're more detail-oriented. They're going to look at numbers. Those are the types of people that you need to compare and bring charts to and say, this is how much my office has sold versus this office versus this office.
Right.
They want to see the fact more. So an S and a C is going to want to see the cold, hard print. They don't care about. Not that they don't care about you. They care about facts more than feelings.
Yeah.
D and I care about feelings more than fact.
Right. I wanted to shift away, even though this is wonderful, but how did you first go about generating business, and how do you prospect consistently, both when you first enter the business and how is it different now that you're established and you have a good reputation?
Right. So when I first got my license, it was November of 2019. I was 22 years old. And, I was in an office with a lot of callers, a lot of Mike and Tom Ferry people, a lot of, Mojo Dialer and like very much that. So that's how I started. And I was like, I don't know if these people are going to pick up the phone for me and curse me out. And if they do, that's fine because, I have a thick skin. But like, what happens? I was more scared of getting the appointment and meeting them than getting cursed out.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm like, this 22-year-old little dweeb is going to show up at their door and they're going to be like, why the fuck would I list with a 22-year-old who has not done a transaction yet versus somebody who has 20 years more experience than him that has sold a bunch of houses. So my fear wasn't even getting rejected, hung up on, cursed out. My fear was like, what do I do when I'm in front of them?
Okay.
And I feel like that's a lot of people's fear, but they just...
Yes, tremendous. And I'm very happy you said it, by the way.
They just won't say it. I can get cursed out and hung up on all day. It's funny to me.
So how did you overcome that fear?
So honestly, for me, I said to myself, you're either going to do it or you're not. Right. And so you're either going to make a name for yourself or you're not. And I have to say, I'm a little bit of a vain person. I'm not going to lie. I'm a Leo. I like recognition. I like my name. I like how I look. So for me, it was never even about money, transactions. It was always like, I want people to know that I did it. Like, I want that. I want the status of knowing that I did it and that I made it happen. And that's going to feel better than any amount of money would. And then that was my mindset going in. And then you get a couple of clients that you really connect with and you're like, wow, this is not just about status or money or selling or showing nice properties. This is about helping people with one of the biggest moves they'll ever make in their life.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yes. And I'd say that the number, like within my first year, I would call all my friends and whoever else. And I helped a family that had, immigrated here, gotten their citizenship and everything. And they worked so hard. They saved so much money. And just the looks on their faces when we closed and the house was theirs. And even throughout the process, like it just meant so much to me. And that's when I knew that this is what I wanted to do.
Yeah, you have to have a quality that I commonly refer to as gas, is you have to give a shit.
Exactly.
Right.
That's so good. I love that.
Yeah, take it. You have to, right? Because it is the one thing that keeps your drive going in this business. And like you said earlier, New Yorkers can sense it in a second if you don't actually care.
Exactly. And I'd say going into the second part of your question is, how do I get the business now?
Yeah.
I've just made such a good lasting impression with my clients that a lot of my business is very word of mouth now. You know,
amazing.
I can't say
look. It's every realtor's dream.
Yes, and I can't say that I'll ever go. I don't. At least per month, I at least get 1 or 2 people minimum that are referring me someone, whether they're serious or not, whether they're a long term. I like to separate it like A, B, and C clients.
Okay, so quick follow up to that. Do those referrals come based on you doing such a wonderful job for their transaction, or is it based on you doing some follow-up with them post-close, or a combination of both?
I think it's a combination of all of it. Okay. So I have gotten some more now, because I do a lot of co-op business, and co-ops are still, affordable for many people.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of co-op business with people that are in my age range, like late 20s, early 30s, even, low 40s. And they all have friends. And then they close on the co-op, their friends come by, and their friends a lot of times can afford to buy one and they don't even know it. Right. So a lot of times it's, we'll speak to my realtor. He did such a great job with me. And then, I get a lot from that. Apart from that, I would say I'm a big believer in a 33 touch campaign. So
can you tell us what that is? I don't even know.
So it's something I learned back in my time with Keller Williams.
Right.
And every person in your database should be getting a touch from you at least 33 times a year. Not a physical touch, that's a fair housing violation, but a touch, whether it's a text, a holiday card, a postcard, a congratulations on your baby, sorry your uncle passed away,
right?
Some sort of touch. So what I like to do is I'll usually like to add my clients on my business social media, my business Instagram at Dylan Bugallo, give me a follow, or my Facebook, just so that I can stay up to date with what they're doing. And I'm an empathetic person. I pay attention. Yeah. A lot of my clients, even though I work with an older age group too, a lot of my clients are my age and in my age group. And I like to add them on my business Instagram, my Facebook, and I notice little things about them, like whether they get a new job, whether they have children, expand their families, somebody unfortunately passes away. I always try to stay top of mind. I just ordered all my holiday cards. I send them out every single year. I usually send out like a seasonal postcard.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I should do that.
Yeah,
I got 2 dogs too. People love dogs.
Yeah.
And thank you, Dylan.
Honestly, I love dogs.
Yeah.
As important as cold calling can be and getting new clients can be, making the calls to your database is just as important. So I learned from a lot of people that have been doing this since the 80s and the 90s. One of my biggest mentors in the industry, his name's Anthony Testani. He's got licensed the year I was born. And he's so religious with calling his database and checking in with people and having a slogan like, hey, I'm Anthony, the real estate guy. That's how all of his conversations start. So I sat next to him for years and I just learned so much by sitting next to him. And a lot of times we assume that they're always going to remember us. Sometimes you need to freshen up their memory. Right. People have a lot going on. So if 2 years go by and they don't hear from you, you can't expect somebody with 2 years of things that they've just lived to always remember your name unless you're staying top of mind with them.
So the touches that you're doing is a combination of phone calls and texts and DMs, mails. It's a combination of all of it.
Even replying to one of their stories is a touch. Like I have clients that have 2 beautiful new children replying to their stories saying, oh my God, this is so cute. Yeah. What a cute Halloween costume. That's a touch.
Right.
And they appreciate that more than you know, because that's the thing that most people are proud of is their kids.
Of course. So how much time, or do you have a structure in your day, like 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. I'm replying to people on social, and 10 to 11, maybe you're doing the calls. Does it look the same every day? Is it changed? Is it scheduled?
I'm not going to lie. My calendar does have certain things blocked off, but ask me if I stick to it all the time.
Yeah, but you probably, I'm guessing 70, 80% of the time.
I'd say 50.
Okay.
I'd say 50.
Honesty is appreciated.
Yeah, I'd say 50. Listen, I do time block. I put things in my calendar. I look at my calendar. But sometimes I just let things get ahead of me. Again, it's because I have, like, I'm a longer conversation person. Like, if I'm talking to someone and it goes over the amount of time that, like, I initially thought it would, I'm not going to just cut it off, you know? Like, so for me, but I'd say that I dedicate every quarter, I want to call my database.
Right.
So every quarter, I want to call my database check-in. Some people want to be called again in 6 months. I call them in 3 because they're not going to remember they said 6.
Yeah. Okay. So this brings me to another question. Let's try this. True or false? With the AI entering the AI, like the Ukraine, the AI entering our business, do you feel that you're well, I think you are, but do you feel that you're at a tremendous advantage with being primarily relationship driven?
I would say so, yes, just because AI, I'm going to be honest, I have not utilized AI that much.
And look at your production.
Right. I haven't utilized it that much. I've been looking a little bit more into it. I have utilized it for certain things, like I know it can do wonders with your calendar, your database. Right. I know all that, and I have yet to really get into it just because with the whole shifting companies, I've been very preoccupied and, kind of you never realize how much you actually have to move over and change. But I think that, I'm at an extreme advantage because, I'm very techy. I'm catch on to things easily. And I think for somebody like me that, has been in the industry a while, but still has such a long way to go in the industry, the AI is going to be extremely helpful. And I feel like it would be better if we just all embrace it and not fight it. I mean, look at cell phones. Back when people did this in the 80s and 90s, they used yellow books and office lines and landlines. And
had quite the advantage back then, too.
Exactly. Yeah. And then the cell phones came to be, and a lot of people fought them for a while. But now, I don't know one realtor or not even realtor, I don't know many people that can live without a cell phone.
Yep. I'm one of them. Yeah.
Why fight it if we can embrace it and make our edits to it?
So something brings me to another thing. So AI is obviously important. Tech is important. But do you see a lot of people in the industry just waste their time with, like, whether it's watching podcasts all day and motivational this and then focusing on the busy work of, let's say, I'm going to do a 2-hour AI class and feel how to be more efficient, but then they're not doing the things like calling their database?
Yes. I think that you really need to differentiate what's going to help you and what's not. Right. So if listening to podcasts 2 or 3 times a week is going to help motivate you, that's great. But then you actually need to use that motivation and work
and do something.
What did Kim Kardashian say? Nobody wants to fucking work anymore.
Yeah, I'm proud that I know that. Yeah, she's great. She's great.
So I love her, and I don't care what anyone thinks. I love her.
Honestly, I grew respect for her.
Yeah.
Like, one, I mean, what does she care what I think? She doesn't know who I am. She doesn't know that I exist. But it's impressive. Over time, she just keeps getting stronger and stronger. You can't, like, not have some type of... You don't have to be a fan, but you can respect it.
You don't need to be a fan, but you have to realize that we need a thick skin for this business. Imagine the type of thick skin she needs to have millions and millions of people commenting on her.
Different level.
Exactly. But going back to what I was saying is that you can't waste your time with the stuff that's really not going to bring a value to you. Okay. So I like to look at things in a certain way of, like, if I do this, how will I benefit from it? And it doesn't just have to be a monetary benefit. It can be a different benefit. But ultimately, at the end of the day, let's not bullshit around here. We're all in this business to make money.
Yeah.
And make a better life.
We need to. There's nothing wrong with saying that.
Family. Exactly.
Yeah.
Money makes the world go round. Nobody can live without it. If you can, that's fucking great, and I will join you.
Good for you. Yeah.
But, like, I see a lot of people, and this is no shade, maybe a little. I see a lot of people like posting all this motivational stuff, going to every different type of networking event and listening to all these different podcasts, and all that stuff is great and it is helpful. Yep. But then you look at their production and it's minimal. So it's like, what are you getting from it?
You're saying the silent part out loud.
Exactly.
Right. So it's funny that you say that, because I have a lot of other people in the business tell me the same thing, like, so-and-so is really great on social media. I find that the agents that are really strong, unless they're using social media to generate business,
which is a big possibility.
Yeah, which is it's the thing. It's not easy to do.
No,
but it can be done, and it is being done. But most of them aren't really like spending that much time on it. It's also overly saturated. Okay, we are low on time, so let's pivot for another second. Let's try something negative. What is your least favorite part about the business?
I got to be honest. I hate doing open houses.
Why? I know a lot of agents that love it.
So, okay, I don't want to say I hate it because hate's a strong word.
Okay.
But I am at a point now where I like to have other agents that I work with or that want to do open houses conduct my open houses. Right. And I'm not saying I do it for all of them. I will still do open houses and I'm very good at them. It's just that it's not just a 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock thing. You know, right. You have to wake up. I mean, I'm an early bird anyway, but you got to wake up at 9 if you want to be able to work out, which I do, or, you know, do whatever you want to do. Have breakfast, take a shower, get ready, put yourself in that mindset to do an open house because you can't just rush there. You have to put signs out. You have to prepare the house. You have to do a walkthrough, you know, make sure everything is ready to be shown. Get ready with your iPad or your sign-in sheet or whatever it is that you use. I use an iPad. And it turns, the 2-hour open house turns into a 5 to 6 hour ordeal. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's like I can do that 5 to 6 hour ordeal, and open houses are a great way to meet sellers, I guess, on the block and other clients, but only 5% of houses are sold with an open house.
Right.
Only 5.
It's more of a lead generation tool.
It's a lead generation tool, and it's great. And I always tell, like, I'm very fair. Whoever, you know, if I have an agent do my open houses, I say, listen, any leads you get from it that are buyer leads, just keep them.
Right.
Do the business with them. I don't
very
care.
Nice of you.
If you need help, I'm going to help you. If I get involved, obviously there's going to be a referral fee. Right. Not going to be a large one. Seller leads I'm different with. You know, seller leads are more, they get directed back to me, but I'm very fair with my open houses and the people that do them. But for me, it's just like I can be taking a couple of clients out in that 6-hour time frame. I can take 3 different sets of buyers out. I can go on 3 different listing appointments, or I can spend time with my family. Yeah. And for me,
it's a big time suck. You're right.
Yes, it turns into a very big, like, time suck, as you said. Yeah. And so it's not that I hate doing them. I think hate's a strong word, so I'll redact the hate. But I would just prefer to have them done for me.
Okay.
That sounds bitchy.
No, not really. I think it's fair. It's also different if you're an agent that's like new in the business and you need that to get it going.
Yeah.
I know some that are the opposite and they're like, all my buyers come from meeting them at open houses for other agents. And then,
yeah. And it's an excellent lead gen tool. I'm not going to say it's not. And honestly, when I would do trainings at KW with new agents, I would always tell them, send a blast email out to the office and ask if any agents need help with their open houses. Because a lot of times they have the same feelings I do about them and they don't want to do them.
Yeah, and I'm also glad that you said that because I come across agents who literally tell me I'm trying to do open houses, but no one in my office is opening that up. They want to do it themselves, yada, yada. Okay, so let's wrap this bad boy up, Dylan. Once again, lead to list.
Yes.
Okay. That's why we're here. We're going to rock it. We're going to drink. No, we're not going to. We said
I'm definitely going to drink. But
yeah, before you speak. But yeah.
January 8th, lead to list. Come get incredible knowledge from myself. Ben is one of the sponsors. Come get knowledge from him. I know that Karina, Ultimate Title Girl, New World Title, is also one of the sponsors. We're going to have some incredible panelists. Come get some good knowledge from us. Have a glass of wine with me and just come with an open mind.
Great way to start the new year. Dylan, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Ben.
This was wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.